Brown alluded to earlier, and Kieran has some data to back it up. There is, I suppose, a view coming from industry that the third level sector hasn't been as engaged with or as I suppose, responsive to its needs in terms of maintaining and enhancing competitiveness within various sectors. And the university sector and the third and the IoT sector, we are aware of it and we are actively trying to do something about it, and we're very conscious, particularly in the challenging times that we're in, that we need to be much more relevant and supportive and engaged in economic development. And so in that context, and I suppose linked to, apart from the BMW Assembly survey and analysis, which gave some very strong indicators as to industry needs, we also have been engaging with industry partners and listening to them, or trying to listen to them and hear what their needs are. And very strongly the message has come back to us that what they want is quick, easy and effective access to expertise, to people, to facilities and infrastructure that can help support them. So as a result of that, I suppose, clear message from industry, and again, the same messages are coming through from different sectors, ourselves and our colleagues in the University of Limerick, in Galway Mayo Institute of Technology, in Athlone Institute of Technology, and the Institute of Technology in Sligo, along with and in close partnership with the BMW Assembly, we've established or developed an initiative which we're calling Metric. We're very fond of acronyms in the third level sector, and it probably confuses the hell out of people who are outside in the real world, but it's intended to stand for the Medical Technologies Research and Innovation Centre. But essentially, as Jerry mentioned, what this initiative is intended to be is a single easy access route to get to the expertise, the right people, the right infrastructure within the partner organisations. And our goal is to be A, responsive, B, make it easy to get access, and B, not to be expensive, or too expensive. So really the intention here is to, I won't use the word one-stop shop because it's an overused phrase, but to be a resource that industry can access quickly and easily. And colleagues, my counterparts from Athlone IT, Paul Killeen, and Galway Mayo Institute of Technology, Patrick Ellis, who are here in the audience, so we'll be happy to answer questions during the day. And also I'll refer to my colleagues at the back of the room, Fiona Neary and Niamh Corcoran, who are manning a stand outside, and they have brochures on Metric, and again they'll be able to help you with questions. So essentially what we're about, and I suppose is making available infrastructure, facilities and people and expertise to industry, particularly the medical technologies industry, to help them with problem solving. And as you're all well aware, I'm sure, government has invested very substantially over the last 12 years or so in infrastructure within the third level sector. Well over €1 billion have been invested within that sector, primarily through the Programme for Third Level Institutions, Programme for Research and Third Level Institutions, and other programmes, public funded programmes. So what that's meant is that we've now got genuinely world-class infrastructure and facilities across our institutions, as well as having expertise, and we've all recruited in expertise internationally. And so across our organisations we have excellent state-of-the-art facilities and infrastructure, and what we're about in this consortium is to make that available to industry quickly, easily and efficiently. And we will have a single point of access, single point of contact, where you can come in through a gateway or a doorway into be able to access the entire system, so that you don't have to hunt down who do I go to in what institution. We will provide this in a seamless way across the consortium. So the goal, as we say here in our sort of vision, is to create a national research and innovation hub for the medical technology sector that will provide expertise, specialist services and innovative interaction for industry. And our goal is to enhance Ireland's position as a global medtech cluster. We're seeking, I suppose, as a country to really cement Ireland's position as a world-leading medical technologies cluster and become the fourth significant global cluster in medical technologies. And so this is part of our efforts to contribute to that effort. And in terms of what we're intending to provide is a range of support services and expertise, including our capacity in terms of infrastructure and capabilities in terms of expertise, access, very importantly, to clinical facilities and expertise, which is of huge importance and one of the big demands and needs within industry. And we also have access to both national and international networks of partners where, again, if the expertise doesn't reside within the consortium, we will point people in the direction of those who can provide the help that's needed. So it's really to make it simple, as I say, and easy for industry to access. Now, I probably don't need to really emphasize this point, but this slide, I think, is a very interesting slide in that it shows the clustering of the medical devices industries within Ireland. And clearly, the western region is where the greatest concentration of industries are. There are concentrations in Dublin and in the north, but in fact, a slide that I don't have, couldn't get access to, if you actually look at the numbers of people employed within the sector, there's a much more dramatic picture of employment in the West, where over 60% of the total employment within the medical technologies industry is in the broad western region. And I don't need to go through the figures, but essentially what we're looking to assist in the creation of is this so-called ecosystem, which consists of academia, industry, and the clinical sector, as well as funders and financiers, where we can create essentially a self-sustaining system of innovation and I suppose new technology development and commercialization. This is a slide that I've borrowed from the BMW Assembly survey that Kieran alluded to. And in this survey, they analysed industry needs, and among the top needs are R&D services, prototyping and design services, and this will be part of our offering. Another one is engineering, design and development. And very high up on the list is more soft type support, such as market analysis, market research, and that, again, will be part of our offering. So if you we've sort of pictured Metric here as a sort of a house where we've got three pillars of support that we provide. One would be a technology-based support, so design, development, prototyping, or aspects of technology support. We also, very importantly, will have a clinical support dimension that will include preclinical trials and also access to clinical expertise, both within our hospital system and a clinical research facility which we've established here in Galway to do first-in-man clinical trials. And then the other very important pillar will be to support business development and an educational component, which will again be focused on business supports, marketing, market research, and all of those areas that industry sees as very important. yet another multicolour map of Ireland. What this map is intended to show is the 4 HSE regions within the country, colour coded, so Dublin North East, Dublin Mid Leinster, South, and HSE West. Very importantly, and this is maybe not always recognised, HSE West accounts for 1/4 of the total population of Ireland. So we're an equivalent population centre as each of the other 3 HSE regions. It happens to be the largest because it's the most distributed, I suppose, or dispersed. But if you look at the HSE West region, we have hospitals in Limerick, hospitals in Galway here, Ballinasloe, Castlebar, Sligo, Letterkenny, with connections across to Derry. And we've mobilised the clinical resources across HSE West, who will provide their support, their expertise and their inputs as required into when industry wants to either evaluate, discuss or test devices or technologies or ideas. And critically, here in Galway and very strongly connected to our colleagues in Limerick, but also clinical colleagues across the region, we now have the capability to provide clinical trial support, including first in man, and we've done our first in man clinical trial of medical device literally in the last couple of months here in Galway. So these supports are there, they're real and they're available, and our intention is to make them accessible to industry quickly and easily. I suppose just to give a pitch that we have been doing things, we do know how to engage with industry. You know, we may not have been as reactive or responsive as or as quick in terms of our delivery, but our intention is that Metric will be responsive through a professional team that will project manage and ensure delivery on time and on budget. But we have in the past 5 years engaged in over 200 medical technology projects with industry partners. We do have a very significant patent portfolio within the consortium, though I would like to stress that in terms of what we're about here, it's far less about intellectual property engagement and more about servicing the needs of industry in terms of supporting their needs. So it's really beyond an IP issue, and hopefully industry will come to us with their intellectual property that they need to move forward to commercialization or to improve an existing product. We've graduated over 200 PhD students between the consortium members in the medtech area in the last 3 years. So that's a very substantial cohort of highly qualified individuals being made available to the industry. And then, as I've alluded to, on the clinical side of things, we have in place now a clinical trials infrastructure headed by an individual that we've recruited back from the US who's got over 20 years experience in first-in-man clinical trials. He knows what he's about, and he's built up a superb team, and they're already out there working with industry and making things happen. Preclinical studies, we have local access to preclinical facilities, but we've also, very importantly, and I don't have a slide on this, so I'll mention it now, we've partnered with Georgia Tech in Atlanta, and we're linked in, as Jim Brown mentioned, Georgia Tech Ireland will be involved in supporting this, but very critically, Georgia Tech Atlanta is an international partner in this, and they bring a huge wealth of experience and knowledge in the biomedical engineering area, which will add to our consortium's expertise. But they've also got an initiative in Atlanta comprised of a number of partners. It's actually, it was something they did separate to us, and it's actually quite close to what we're doing. But we've partnered with them, and they will have, for example, they will have GMP qualified prototyping facilities. So if companies want to generate medical devices to do final stage preclinical trials or first-in-man clinical trials, they can be produced to GMP standards so that they will meet FDA approval. So we have access to those facilities. They also have a world-class preclinical facility which provides access to, and in remote access through internet. You can watch operations going on in the facility in Atlanta from anywhere in the world. And these people are partnering with us to provide access to that expertise as required. And locally, our clinical research facility people can make available trained staff in good clinical practice, regulatory affairs and ethics, and also clinical trial protocol design. We do have a track record, despite maybe the press we get. We do deliver sometimes, at least. So we do have a strong cohort of partners that we have worked with, and many of these do come back and have come back time and time again. So what we're about with this metric initiative is ensuring that the people who we engage with industry and helping to solve their problems are people who will deliver on time, and through our project management we will ensure that we do what industry needs when they need it. So that's really it. I just want to thank Jerry and the people from BMW for the opportunity to introduce you to Metric as a consortium, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.